enough to stumble across some pretty cool stuff this evening. Um, 30, I only spent $30 on it, and it's what I'm going to call 2.5 boxes of trains, locomotives, um, and parts, turntables, track, uh, stuff. I've got my track back here set up. Got most of my desk cleared off to where we can kind of work on it a little bit. I've got wheels, I've got couplers, and depending on what it is, I'm going to fix it while we're doing it on the way through, looking at all these different rail cars and that we've got. Um, One thing I did test because I couldn't take it anymore, and we'll start with that, is this. And it looks to be that the gears are slipping inside. I don't know if something's actually loose or if the gears are shot in it, but that's something I'm going to have to look into. But this was the first thing that I looked at whenever I saw what was coming. I thought it could be possible too, and you see there's still parts, random parts falling off of it. It could be possible that maybe the wheels are out of quarter and it's not wanting to go. And I got to figure out which one is it's not this one. I'm gonna put this one on the floor, and we're gonna hook this one up. I think if it's not already hooked up. That way we can test the 4 locomotives I have that I believe are in this. Lots of weight there. Let's see here. Here we go. Plug in here. I don't know if you can hear that or not. It tried to go. Yeah, it's trying to. It's just I think the gears are split in it. So that was the first thing I got. That's not a promising start, but it's definitely a start, and I can work on and fix just about any of them as long as I can find the parts for them. So not a bad start. It's a neat looking old locomotive, and it does have a tender with it too. I don't think it's the correct tender for the locomotive. And I'm sure we're going to come across that here in a minute. It's probably number 1. Set that right. Let's grab another one. This is a Tyco grain car. I see a lot of these down at a rail yard where I work, and it looks like it's actually got, it may have, I think that's paint. It could be metal wheels. I think it's got a metal wheel here, which we'll end up taking that off of one and putting it on something else. But that's the first car. Let's see here. And I'll just put out a whole line of them, and then we'll go back and I'll move them out of the way and we'll go again. Here's an Ajax made by Tyco. It's not in really good shape. This is something I think I could pull these off of and put truck mounted couplers on and try to make these 2 cars, since they're in kind of rough shape, make them into something a little more presentable. There's those 2. Let's grab another one here. Here's another one. Pacific Fruit Express. Now, mind you, I did only spend $30 on these, so I'm not jumping up and down excited about some of them, but a lot of them, it's nice just to have the stuff for parts if you want to fix something. See, it's bent right here. I don't know that actually even goes with this, the way it's made. It might, but it may not go with this one. Boxcar. Looks like a Santa Fe caboose. That's nothing real special there. I can't tell. I don't think that's a Bachmann car. I'm not sure which brand this one is. It doesn't say on the bottom of it. And if you can see, there's all kinds of stuff coming out of it. Move that out of the way. I don't know. I guess maybe a mouse got in it. I don't know. I could just pop it apart, I guess, and pull most of that out. But I think we got most of it right there. But yeah, just a little caboose, nothing special. Something I could repaint in the future, possibly. Set that over here. What else we got? This one's missing a truck, but these are easy to fix, and this is just a pop-in truck that's on this one, a little Burlington car. Whoop, there you go. See, that one popped right out. But that one's actually really nice looking. There's nothing saying I couldn't possibly put some body mounted couplers on it or something in the future and actually do something decent with that one. Set that to the side. I'm just going to go in the parts bin. What we got here? Here's another Santa Fe. This one is really dirty. It almost looks like somebody tried to weather it or practice on it. I think this is a Bachmann. Sometimes AHM made them with them little push pins on them. But there's another old beat up caboose. Yeah, look here, it's broke right here. So maybe I can take this off, repaint it, and then put a different underneath on it. There's another busted up caboose. Here's a flat car. Santa Fe flat car. I'm not sure what it had on here. If any of you have any idea what that could be, let me know. I'm not sure what them pins were for. It may have had something that covered the whole thing. Could have been a couple of shipping containers. Not sure, and I'm dropping things already. But this is just another little cheap Tyco, I believe, flat car. Which some of these have a really good probability of being able to be painted up and redone. Let's see here, what's next? Here's a Union Pacific gondola. Nothing real special about that, just a Tyco car. It's possible that you could also do body mount coupler on this one too if you wanted to. Keep on cruising. I don't know what somebody was thinking when they did this, but I guess they wanted to be able to pull it. But they have obnoxiously long horn hook couplers on it. I guess if it works, it works, especially if you're a kid just dragging them around the track. But I definitely want to save the boxcar. I might be able to put that on something else here in the future and clean it all up real good and reuse this one. I definitely want to reuse this boxcar though. Probably that Fruit Express as well. There's another flat car. This is whoa. Let's turn this a little bit. There we go. This is a Great Northern flat car. I think this is just another Tyco car. Nothing real special. Keep adding. Let's see here. Here's another gondola. Ohio C. That one's kind of hard to read. I'm not sure if this is a Tyco or a Bachmann. But that's still a neat looking car. I like the way that looks. Huh. Ohio Seamies Tube or Jube. Anyway, that's something interesting. I haven't seen a lot of these. There's another one. We're just going to keep on cruising. Here's a flat car. Now, this is kind of obnoxious. So somebody took this flat car, it's a Western Maryland, and glued, there's a ton of hot glue under there, a gondola to it. I don't understand why they would have done that. If somebody has any ideas, they're more than welcome to shoot me a message. I don't know why they would glue the gondola to the top of a flat car, but I don't know. Maybe they were bored. Maybe they thought it looked like it was going somewhere to be repaired. I don't know. But I thought that was kind of interesting. Here we have, I think this is what they call these are cold storage boxcars. Yeah, refrigerator car line. But these actually have little flaps on them that open and shut on top. I thought these were pretty neat. These are definitely something I'm going to hang on to. It looks to be probably an Athearn car. It's got the body-mounted couplers, and then it's got the screwed-in trucks. and everything looks to be there, and I thought it was pretty cool that them little flaps all work. It's got horn hook couplers, but that's something that can be fixed later on. But that's definitely a keeper. Let's see here. It's a little tanker car. I think this was a Tyco tanker car. This come in a lot of different sets. I've seen this tanker car a lot. Nothing super special here. It'll probably go into a pile of stuff that I'll give away in the future for somebody that wants to start a little set. Yeah, just a DuPont tanker car. Let's see here. This one's going to be a keeper for sure. I'm going to have to figure out how to mount the couplers to it, but it's got a load. It's a Lee Valley hopper car. Missing a wheel there, but the actual deals where the couplers go in aren't messed up, and it looks like it's got a nice base right there that's going to be perfect for putting body mounted couplers on. I was pretty excited about getting that one. I always like getting stuff by Lee Valley. Lee Valley. Let's see here. Here is a Burlington Northern boxcar. It's missing a truck on one side, which I've got a spare truck rolling around here somewhere. Lots of different brands. Athearn, Tyco. I think there was a Bachmann. Lots of different random brands in this box that I'm opening. But yeah, there's those Burlington, and I'll show you here another one. This is a Tyco too. This one actually says Tyco on it. But yeah, these two boxcars here are identical. They got the same, well, I say identical, but yeah, they've got the same number on them. I don't see anything different here other than it looks like this one's just either really, really dirty, and I think it's just been weathered. I think somebody actually just tried to weather it. Yeah, I've got a ton of Tyco stuff. I've actually got most of the C430 locomotives. I've got them in there on a shelf. Some of them were not savable. The motors were shot, but I still made them into decent little rollers, and they can be pulled in a consist. This looks like somebody got it ungodly hot on this side. Maybe trying to weather it. I don't know if maybe that was intentional. They wanted it to look like it was beat up real bad. But that's just a little Union Pacific hopper car. I don't know that I'll do a whole lot with this one. Maybe use it for parts or make like a wrecked hopper to put on a flat car. Chattanooga 280, Clementine 08, 080, 280, 080, and Mantua 480 sold by Tyco. Nice. I have the one here I'm pretty sure is a Tyco, but I'm not 100% sure. And it's got the gears grinding in it so bad that I'm going to have to take it apart and see if I can do any kind of repair on it at all. This was one I was excited to have. This is a Santa Fe boxcar. It's got the body-mounted couplers. So this is probably one of those Athearn Blue Box kits. That is what it was. It's got the screw-on trucks. I'll definitely put some metal wheels on that and wash it up real good, and it'll go on in my little fleet of cars that I'd like to pull. But yeah, that's definitely a keeper. Let's see here. I've got another, and this one's actually in really good shape, another Santa Fe caboose. I say really good shape. It's got some stuff hanging off of it, but I think between this one and the other one I have that's just like it, I'll be able to piece it back together and make it look pretty nice. Put that over there with those. What else we got in here? This one was interesting. I've never seen one of these even in a set. Like, I haven't seen one of these at all. This one says made in Hong Kong, but it doesn't tell you whether it's a Tyco or not, so I'm not 100% sure on this one. But it does have the pop-in couplers. It is a cold storage car. But I thought that was a neat-looking car. I'll probably end up keeping this one if I can put that styrene in there and make me some decent truck mounts and put me some body-mounted couplers on it. Because, I mean, it's actually a pretty well-built boxcar. Let's see here. here. What else we got? Here, oop, this one I'm definitely going to add to the collection. It's not nothing super special, but just a little Pennsylvania caboose that I can drag along with my Pennsylvania locomotive and some of my Penn Central stuff. I'm sure it'll drag right along with them just fine too. But yeah, I was pretty excited to find this one. I haven't seen one of these yet. Set that off to the side. As you see, my table just continues to get bigger and bigger. I've got all kinds of stuff sitting here, and we've probably got at least this much to go, if not more. Here we go. Here's one of the locomotives that finally come up from the bottom. This is a Tyco Power Torx locomotive. It's missing it's going to need both horns. One of them's broke off, and one of them's half gone. No handrails, but the body itself is in decent shape. I say decent shape. It's not perfect by any means, but it's not beat to heck either. So that's definitely something I'm going to look into fixing up. I don't have one of those yet. It's kind of something Tyco stuff, I just kind of accumulate as I go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have AHM. I bet I have, if I was to guess, 8 or 10 different AHM, a few switchers, and a few different of those FP45s. This is a nice little tanker car. This is definitely a kit car, something somebody had to take the time to put together. And it looks like it was pretty well taken care of. It's got body mount couplers, metal wheels, screw-in trucks. This is definitely going to be something that I'm going to hang on to. I'm pretty excited to have this one. I don't have much by MKT. I've been looking into trying to pick up some locomotives by them, or at least paint one up of my own. Typically, it's just one color, which is green. Then you can get all the decals you want to put on them, and then clear coat it in matte, and you're set to go. Yeah, that one's pretty neat. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. This is definitely a Tyco. I've seen this in Tyco sets, and it's going to need just a little work. This is a Wesson tanker car. Vegetable oils look like, but this one was typically made to haul. The tanks popped out on this side, but the wire around the top's still in pretty good shape. I like to get lots of older HO N-scale rolling stock because you can get it cheap. Oh, yeah, for sure. And you can weather it and make it look nicer. Absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with that. That goes the same with locomotives and stuff too. You can take don't get me wrong, the run quality isn't quite the same, as some of your others, but you can take an old Tyco and make it look pretty nice. I have a couple, a C430 here actually that I've already got the paint job done on, and I'm getting ready to do a and you can see it's got some dust and stuff on it because I was cutting wood in here the other day. But I'm going to go ahead and put Norfolk and Western on it, and then put a matte clear coat on it and be done with it. So yeah, you can make older Tycos look really nice if you want to. Got a Cato PA1, $70. Oh, right on. I found an Athearn dummy PA1 locomotive made by Pennsylvania, and I picked that up for like $5 at a train show. and I just drag it around with some of my other trains. I need to find some powered ones, but this is a Burlington refrigerator car. Looks like, and this one looks like somebody left it sit in water or set around water, or maybe in a room with chlorine tablets or something, because every bit of metal on this is rusty. Not to say it doesn't give it a good weathered look, but who's looking at it from the bottom like that? I think I'm going to pop this apart and clean that all up, and it looks like it was set up for body mount couplers, but they were never installed. So this one's going to take a little bit of work, but this will be a nice little puller too whenever it's done. Let's see here. I've got another flat car. I believe this is a Tyco. It's a Southern Railroad flat car. Yeah, I do. It's aggravating, but everybody's allowed to have their preferences, I guess. I just don't. And you can have your opinion and it be fine. It's not a big deal. If you don't like them, you don't like them, but you don't have to put down other people that do. I've always had that belief on that. There's no need to put down somebody that maybe can't afford the nicer stuff or likes to spend time detailing the older stuff. Absolutely. This one was probably my favorite car from the set. It's got a coupler on one end. It's got the box ready on this end. I just have to fix the coupler and put the cover on. But this one was, I've always liked the paint job of the Rock, and I was pretty excited to be able to have this one to add to the collection. Yeah, O scale has gotten really, really out of hand. Um, I mean, and when we say unaffordable, it just depends on who you are, I guess. But I can't. There's no way. It's just not doable. Not on one person. But here's another Tyco from Texaco. Just a simple old car. Nothing super special. The wires are all missing around the top of it. It could be painted over and done something else with, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's however far you want to go with it, or how much time you have to kill tinkering, what you enjoy, you know. Let's see here, we're getting down to the nitty gritty as far as rail cars go. I've got something pretty cool to show you here in a minute, but here's that Pennsylvania tender that goes with this locomotive here. At least that's what I think it does. It looks like a lifelike tender for an 040 that I have in the other room, but that's what came with it, so that's what's staying with it. Here's just a little simple Virginian hopper car. We're almost down to the locomotives now. Let me pull up that message again. I didn't get to see it. Here we go. Lucky my three uncle got a Marks and a Lionel O scale sets in 1966. Nice. Yeah, that'd be cool to add to a collection and run. That's pretty neat. But yeah, just a simple Virginian hopper car. I add that on top of that one because I am running out of room. I am missing I guess that was like a little bobber caboose that went here. But this is just a simple flat car. I don't know if this was a custom job or not. It doesn't have any writing on the bottom of the flat car. Whoa, hold still. But that's going to be a neat little car if I can find a bobber caboose to stick on here. Yeah, Marks is actually a decent brand. I have a Marks HO scale locomotive that I've had sitting for a while that I got from an antique mall for $5, and I just added a little lube to it and it fired right up. This is one of my favorite ones that come in all of this. This is a Union Pacific little caboose, and there's a lot of detail here. It's missing the couplers, which that's easy enough to fix. Metal wheels. I'm not sure if it had. Yeah, it doesn't have a light or anything, so it doesn't have pickups here. But this one's in really nice shape. It's not beat up, not scratched up or nothing. And that's definitely something that's going to be added to the collection for sure. Set that one over here because I am literally running out of room. Okay, let's start with another locomotive here. This is an Athearn locomotive, and it's a dummy. I seen it in the set. And what's going on, PA engineer? It's not beat up too awful bad, and it looks like they tried to weather it. I think I'm going to end up taking this top off and putting a new, putting a different cover on, or a different shell on it. I'm either going to buy one, or I'm going to just say the heck with it and paint this one up. It also looks like it's possible that the shell is broke because the frame wants to come out from under the shell. But just sitting on the rails and being drug around, the wheels are free. You add a little bit of dielectric grease to them, make sure they run good. But that should pull around the track just fine, especially if I can get me a better shell to stick on it. I doubt I could do it, and it probably wouldn't look the best unless I did a ton of detail work. But that C430 almost is the right same size to put on there, and it's got the similar older style trucks. I don't know if that could be Frankensteined on there or not. I'd have to look into it. But yeah, just a simple Athearn roller chassis system. Kind of happy to get that one. And the handrails on the sides are here, so whether I junk this shell or not, there's some extra handrails and stanchions there that I can save. Yeah, it looks like somebody did a little bit of work here. I think more or less this is better off as a frame than anything else. But we'll look into that. Let's see here. I got another box car. This one's going to need a set of wheels put on it, but that's no big deal. This is a really nice cattle car from Union Pacific. Looks to be an Athearn, if I was to get. No, Bachmann. This is actually a Bachmann. I'm surprised. Decent looking little box car, or not box car, I'm sorry, cattle car. And that's something that I'm going to keep in the collection as well. I've got that to go with my Union Pacific caboose too. And it's already got the Katy couplers on it, which is pretty nice. Here's another cold storage car. Nice. I think I'm going to start accumulating some of them cattle cars so I can make me a nice little consist of those. This one here is missing a couple flaps on it, but I don't really, it doesn't bother me too much that they're missing them. It's got two of them that are functional, I think. Is it? It is. Yeah, it's got two functional covers on it. Kraft cheese and mayonnaise. Body mounted coupler boxes. Screwed in trucks. These are always better than your Tycos when it comes to starting right off the bat. So it's nice, it saves you some of the work. Yeah, I've actually got a couple in the other room that I can dig out and show here in a few minutes that I've completely customized. Like I have a C430, an Alco, no, I'm sorry, not a 430, an Alco C630 that I completely customized and then added handrails and horns and all that good stuff. This was kind of neat. I haven't seen one of these. This is a New York Central System, what looks to be a caboose. It says radio equipped. I can't read what the stamps are on the bottom of it. I would assume that's Bachmann, but it's really hard to tell. But it's got the little handrails on the end. It's a neat little caboose. Ain't nothing to complain about with that one. And so far, everything I've shown you has been $30. It's all I've paid for all of this. Here's a, I think this is a Tyco autoloader. I don't have any of these yet. So that's a local train store. I've seen a E2 steam locomotive that I was very tempted to buy. I have a very hard time, just right now anyway, getting into the steam stuff because it is so expensive. There are a few things here and there, like your little 040s and stuff like that, that I can pick up fairly cheap. But for the most part, they're so darn expensive. I have a hard time wanting to pick any up whenever you can pick up diesels way cheaper. Now, this one was a pretty nice, thanks, PA engineer. Yeah, not a bad price at all. This is an Athearn, and I'm going to end up replacing the shell, I think. And I'm kind of disappointed because they did try to do a good job detailing it. It's got all the little emergency or warning stickers on it. It's got the ones up on the, if it'll focus, up on the number boards up there. Front only. The rear ones, it doesn't have them on there. It's just got the numbers down on the bottom. Well, $34 ain't bad. That would be definitely tempt me for sure. And I'm not sure if this one works. We're going to find out here in a minute, but it's got the Katy couplers on it. And it's definitely a powered one, or it was supposed to be powered. The steps are painted. I think I am going to try to go the route. See, what happened was I looked at it here. Come on, focus. Somebody dropped it or something, and they busted the top ring on the fans. And I don't know if that can be if I can doctor that with paint and look okay or not. It's going to need handrails all the way around. It needs this, which I have some of these ordered. They should be in here in a few days, and I'll be able to put one back on this. The side frame covers. But this is a GP 38-2. And if I can get a horn, handrails, that cover that I got coming in, this should be a pretty decent little runner if it runs. And that's something I'm going to try here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and clean my desk off and set these little rail cars and that to the side. Also, that was something else I noticed. In here are the tabs where it locks the shell on, and I got one that's broke off. And it doesn't want to... There ain't much I can really do to try to keep it held down except put glue in there, and I am not gluing that because then it'd be a nightmare to try to get the shell off. So I haven't made up my mind whether I'm going to actually doctor this one up or if I'm just going to say the heck with it and see if I can find me another one real similar to it for 15 bucks. Because, I mean, in my opinion, for the condition that I'm hoping for the condition that the that the rest of the locomotive's in, that it would be worth fixing. So we're going to set that one back here. I'm going to go ahead and get these rail cars off of here and put them away for now until I can really get to organizing. And we're going to go ahead and see if that Union Pacific will run. I'm also going to test this one because I don't know if this Santa Fe Tyco works. And we've already tested that steam locomotive that I got, and it's either got stripped gears or something's loose inside or something, because the motor wants to run, but it refuses to actually go anywhere. Could be that the wheels are partially out of quarter too. I think I mentioned that before, but we're gonna see what we can do about fixing that one in a future video. Let's see. Go ahead and put this one back in this one. There we go. Now that one's good to go. I like them Burlington Northern box cars. They're not nothing fancy and they're kind of light, but yeah, a little weight to them. And I use those stick-on wheel weights. I put those on and glue them in on the bottom of the rail car. And I have them in quarter-ounce increments, so I can put them about whatever size I want to and however heavy I want them to. And they work out good that way. I wish these were in better shape, but I think these are just going to get painted down, and I'm going to completely customize these. I have not done anything when it comes to N scale. Everything I've ever done was HO scale. Broadway Limited, I know is a great brand. I see a lot of people running a lot of their stuff and they look good. They seem like they pull real well. It's just I haven't got into N scale yet. It's something I would like to do in the future. My only drawback with N scale is I can't hardly see them to work on them without a magnifying glass. I mean, HO's bad enough trying to work on those, and I spend a lot of time working on this stuff because I don't buy things brand new out of the box. I end up buying things secondhand, third hand, fourth hand from a little kid that threw it down the hall. That's how I end up buying things and end up fixing things up and making them nice again. You know, it's kind of like this Tyco body that I painted up, and I'm gonna go ahead and I bought decals to put on it. So it's one of them things where I like working on them. To work on the N scale stuff, because I just can't see the stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't argue with you one bit on that, man. I bet you they run awesome. I just it's frustrating trying to work on stuff that small. I'm gonna leave this set up here. I really don't want to put that back in the box. This one and this one here, they're just in way too nice a shape to put back in that box amongst all that other stuff. Let's see here. The next thing on my list, let's go ahead and see if this Athearn will run. Side frame coming for it. Okay, we got a light. That's good news. It ain't going either way, but we do have a light. So we know we're picking up power. That's always good news. That means you don't have a wiring problem. It means you got a motor problem. And usually all that's entailed in doing that is cleaning up the gearbox and cleaning up the motor and seeing what all you've got going on there to see if you can actually get the thing to move. Sometimes they've been sitting for so long they just freeze up. So that shouldn't be too hard to fix. Could be that too, but typically the motor mounts, I wouldn't think it would be the motor mounts with it picking up power as well as it was. The motor mounts on these are usually grounded, and I could be wrong. I'm still learning, but typically the motor is is got a pickup coming from the frame, so it gets power from the frame and it gets power from the wheels to pick up on either way for your ground or your positive side. So I've got a pretty good guess that the motor just needs to have some lube put on it. It needs to be cleaned up and worked on a little bit. So I think actually we're going to pop that dude loose after I see if this Tyco does anything. Let's try this Tyco out. Well, we got light there. So it's going to try. We just have to probably clean the wheels and do a little bit of negotiating with it here. Come on. Look at that. It's going to go. It just needs a minute. And I'm definitely going to be greasing all of these. I've got some dielectric grease I'll put on them. Let's try the other way here. Traction tires feel real good on it. Come on, baby. Come on. Come to life for me. Sometimes they just need to turn over a little bit too. So if you can hold them down just a little bit and give them a little push and you don't strip the gears out doing it, then you can get it going. And I think it just needs some time. Just needs some more time trying to work it. I'll end up taking that one apart and working on it. These here, you got a little spot here. You got a little spot here, and you can pop these motors out real easy to work on them. I'll add some grease, make sure there's no hair in the axles that's bounding it up real tight. You don't want to run them too long because these are really easy to burn up. It's not hard at all to burn up those old Tycos. And this, best I could tell, this is probably from the 80s. And you can see there is a lot of corrosion right here too on this block. So it just needs to be taken apart and probably just cleaned up really well. We're going to set that one over here for now, and we're going to work on kind of the highlight here, this bad boy here. I'm going to get me a little screwdriver here and see if we can't pop the shell off and see if we can figure out what our problem is. Because these usually are really reliable and they're almost bulletproof. So we shouldn't have any serious issues with this. Yes, here we go. And it doesn't look half bad inside. Well, I take that back. That commutator looks awful. Oh, and it's kind of froze up and tight. But if I turn it here, now it's wanting to move a little. So let me put it back on here and see if that made any difference at all. Sometimes just getting them to turn over a few times makes all the difference in the world. And I've already got a little bit of light coming here. Yep, we're already getting somewhere. That's all it took. It was just a little bound up. But we're going to do more than that. We're definitely going to do a little more than that because that commutator looks terrible. And for anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to take my screwdriver here and point this little bit right here, how it's covered in soot. And I'm going to show you here with a Q-tip. But this one's been used. Somebody's actually used this one quite a bit. I don't think that it's been abused, but it's definitely been used. We add oil here and oil here. We add oil in the gearbox or grease, depending on what you prefer. I prefer grease if you have dielectric because it lasts longer, and I can feed it in right here in the top of the gearbox without opening it if it'll do it. Yeah, yep, I've already got a truck cover coming for it. I actually ordered it some, and what was I saying? Yeah, I've already ordered some for it. So definitely going to be a good runner after we get her back put together. And you can look here. I think somebody did drop it. They got lucky. But if you look here, I'm going to have to take this front truck apart. They broke the plastic ear off that's on the inside of your side frames. They broke that ear off right here. And that's why it's obviously missing. So when the new one comes in, I'll have to pull this cover off and try to push the piece out. And if I can push that piece out, then the new one will slip right in place. So that shouldn't be too bad a deal. The only drawback is I'm going to have to find a close color of that Union Pacific gray to paint all the truck covers and make them all match. Because it's going to look kind of funny with one because the ones that I've got coming in aren't painted. But okay, let's see here. Let me get my. I'm going to get my oil. I'm going to get my Q-tip. I'm going to get me some rubbing alcohol. Yes, I've had multiple locomotives decide they wanted to smoke on me. Tyco's more than anything else. Um, what was happening? I'm trying to remember what was happening. I think all I did was I got something from somebody. I put a little bit of conductive oil on the gears and put it on the track to see if it would take off, and the thing took off right away. It was a little Rock 430 Tyco Power Torx, and it took off right away. And I was like, "Cool, this one's doing great." And I said, "I'm going to let it run just a little more laps, and I'm going to take it off. I'm going to go ahead and disassemble it and lube it up and make sure everything's okay." And that thing just started smoking like a fiend. Looked like there were some gremlins in under the hood smoking in it, and uh, and then it just stopped. And I took it apart, and just those 3 little laps, I don't know what happened, but it got hotter than blue blazes in the engine block and melted. And actually, I've got a block here I can show you. So when you look at these on those Tycos, this plate here, there's a lot of heat that builds up inside there whenever they get old, and or if they get some extra oil in there or something they ain't supposed to. And yeah, it melted this plate and melted the contacts in this here and melted the brushes inside the little brass sleeves inside that plate and just completely burned it up. So I turned that dude into a roller and called it a day. And I thought, well, if I can find one that's powered, I'll do some swapping in the future of shells. But yeah, it's just bad luck, and they're just old. I fixed my friend's AHM Florida East Coast BL2 before. Every time I look at one, it disappears before I can finish it. But I fixed it and I tested it. It started to smoke like crazy. I would make sure you didn't have any excess oil or grease that got somewhere it wasn't supposed to. That can be a huge problem. Make sure your brushes are clean. And sometimes with electric motors, sometimes it's just time. Sometimes they've actually to the point that they just can't do it anymore, and it's time for them to go. And some of them do end up going catastrophically. Best thing you can do if you see one smoking is just try to get the shell away from it at least and try to save it. But yeah, there's a million different ways that they can get hot and burn. Yeah, and sometimes actually, now that I think about it, if they get hot and smoke like that, it just kind of depends on how much, and if it's getting worse or it's getting better too. I wouldn't, after it started smoking, I wouldn't keep running it. But sometimes they'll get better. If you put a little extra oil in it, you shouldn't have, or it got somewhere it shouldn't have got. There are times that it'll burn it out. Not burn out the motor, but burn the oil out of the motor because it'll get hot enough to burn it and get rid of it. But if you overdo it, you can have a catastrophic failure too. It can go both ways. It's not hard to have it go both ways. I'm going to grab my Q-tip. I use these little Q-tips, and I'm careful with them. You can screw up if you don't pay attention, but I use Q-tips and toothpicks to clean that commutator. It's like the best thing I can find that's disposable, and you don't have to worry about cleaning them. There's a toothpick. There's my tips. Oh, I got the alcohol right here. I use 91% rubbing alcohol. Yeah, AHMs aren't one. I actually had one that I did for shits and giggles. I did a complete motor swap on it, and I actually put that video on YouTube. It was a Union Pacific AHM FP45, and when it showed up, it was missing a motor mount, so the motor wanted to twist in the frame because it wasn't mounted down here. And actually, this one wasn't mounted down here. It's not how it worked. It had two. What I did was when I put the new Pico motor in, I wired it up and put some hot glue down there in the bottom, and then just kind of sat it down on it because it had a side that the new Pico can motors had a side that didn't get what's the word? I sat it in there sideways so your contacts stuck out on both sides, and then the shell still sit over it like it was supposed to. and it worked great that way. And it was really powerful, and it picked up power really well. I just wired it right back up, and it did awesome. I really couldn't ask for better from it. And actually, I'll go get it. I'll show you what I did. It's a little bit rigged, but it works, and that's all I was concerned about. Listen, the it's actually come from a different frame. So I had this frame here. It's a black one, but it's still got the gray top. So by rights, the fuel tank should still be gray. I was able to swap the truck covers. If we pop this one off real quick, I'll do this before we start messing with that Ather, and I'll show you kind of what I did. I'm pretty sure this is still the same body that I did that motor swap on. It's not pretty, but it works really well and pulls really well too. I was kind of tickled to death with it. I like seeing old stuff come back to life, even if you do have to do something a little funky with it. My friend's got an AHM Big Boy for $70. Yeah, now that's a good deal. I've been looking for one, and I haven't found a deal on one of those yet. A lot of people end up looking those up. But see, all I did here was this. I took a Pico motor, I glued it down flat, I ran my wiring, I put a little bit of hot glue on top to hold that wire in place so it wouldn't slip to the sides or fall in. I had to put here you can see it. I had to solder extensions onto both sides of the motor, and I am not the best solderer in the world, but it works really well. And then the motor stays in place; it doesn't go anywhere. And this one runs friggin' awesome. And I even added a little bit of extra weight to the bottom of it too, so it would pull a little better. Let me move this out of the way here, and I'll show you just how well this dude runs. I don't remember if I got the light going on it or not, but I was just more focused on making it functional. Don't you make a liar out of me. There it goes. But yeah, look at that. It moves super, super slow. It moves better than the original AHM motor that it had in it. But yeah, I was tickled to death with that one. And it's pretty quick too. It's got a lot of power. It's got a lot of torque. Let me scoot this a little closer. You can get kind of a better view of it. Part of it's my terrible controls. I've got an old cheap Bachmann controller that I use in here for my testing. But yeah, just transplanted that motor into it, and it does rather awesome. I just wish that this frame had the handrails and stuff on it. That's something I'm going to end up doing in the future. I'm going to end up taking that one, since I'm kind of just really proud of it. I'll end up drilling some holes. Well, come on into focus. There we go. I'm going to drill some holes here and put my handrails back in where they're supposed to be and get this sucker mounted up right. I'm going to end up fixing that step too on this side. But yeah, this one turned out awesome, and I really like the paint scheme they did on this one. It's like that DD35 that I have, that I did a little work on and got it going in one of my live streams. There it goes. I really like this particular paint scheme. I think they did a really good job with these. Yeah, see, it's missing a horn. Cosmetically, it ain't perfect, but man, that thing runs awesome. I couldn't ask for a better running locomotive, but it's got a new Pico motor in it too. So, I mean, you can't be upset about that. Back to this. Absolutely. I really liked the Santa Fe FP45s. Those were my absolute favorite. Something that I actually, it was one of the first ones I bought here when I started this here a while back. It was one of the first locomotives I bought. So let's get a little alcohol on the end of this cap here. And I'll clean this commutator and see how it looks, see how it acts. Nice. I actually, I ain't trying to have a one-up contest here, but I bought a Bachmann Spectrum Dash 8 Santa Fe with the war bonnet, the red and silver war bonnet scheme on it. No, with it had never been used. Still had all the decorations in that in the box for $32, I believe, and it was on eBay of all places. Of all places, I ended up getting it off eBay. So I was pretty excited about that. Let's see if we can get this sucker to do a little better here. Just going to take it and I'm going to hold it up a little bit to keep it from. Oh yeah, I can already hear it and feel it pushing harder to come to life. And all I did was just rub some rubbing alcohol on that commutator and clean a lot of that garbage off of it. Now watch this. That's all the difference in the world. Sometimes that's all it needs is just a little bit of assistance. And that's before putting grease in the gearbox or anything. See how much garbage. See if I can get it to focus here. Maybe. Possibly. It focused on my hand. Yeah, you can see the stuff that comes off the commutator. You keep those clean, and they'll do phenomenal. Even if you don't do the gearboxes, and I strongly suggest you do. but yeah, you can see just how much better it runs. That's no wheel cleaning or anything. It didn't want to do anything at all. So that's pretty freaking nice. Cool. Wheels actually aren't too bad. They leave something to be desired, but they're not atrocious, so I'm going to leave the wheels alone for now. But I am going to get my oil, and I'm going to show you where I put the oil on the motor and on the gearboxes. I use a 3-in-1 brand oil. This is not conductive, so you have to be really careful where you put it. And then I do have a conductive synthetic grease that I use on these. So the first thing I'm going to do is move that one out of the way so I'm not bumping my hands on it. I stand them up on their ends so the oil runs the right direction. I'm actually going to reach in here. I'm going to turn the truck all the way one way. I'm going to try to do this so you can see it here. Here we go. I use both, mainly because I can't afford to do it all at once. Horn hook or Katy couplers, I use both. I actually have some cars that I have a Katy on one end and a horn hook on the other, just so I can get from a car to an older car or vice versa. But yeah, the first thing I did was drop oil right in the end, so it's going to get that worm gear wet with oil. The next thing I'm going to do is hold this way. I hate doing these because if you get the oil on the commutator, it's bad news. But and they put the flywheel so stinking close, it's really hard. There we go. It's really hard to get it where you want it. But if I drop it like that and let it run down, where is my, here we go. I can use my Q-tip and kind of blot up what's running out from around it and make sure it stays off the commutator. It doesn't run down in there. But there's one. My favorite piece of rolling stock, I have a set of 6, three to each box, Cato shipping container cars. And they're the, I forget what they call them, but they sit on each other. So they come in sets of 3, and they're made to sit on top of each other, so you've only got one set of trucks sharing the end of 2 cars. And I really think those are cool. Those are probably my favorite ones. Drop this right here. and that thing drops a ton of oil, and I hate that, but I'm kind of stuck with what I've got at the moment. So I just take my Q-tip and make sure I get all of the excess oil picked up and gotten off of there. You do not want any of that in the motor. Once it has a minute to kind of sit there and run down and not run, then I'll turn it to the other end so that I can get the other worm gear oiled. By rights, you could probably just oil both worm gears to start, which are in these boxes, and then go down and do the motor. But I just kind of went from one side to the other. Okay, we're going to turn it this way, put a drop here. I wish it would focus a little. There it goes. Yeah, I just put a drop right in the top of this. There's a hole on the end. Let that oil run in. I'm going to go ahead and work it. And then we're going to do the trucks. And it's already gotten a ton quieter too. Athearn blue boxes are some of the best locomotives made, in my opinion, when it comes to DC. But you have to keep them oiled, or they just won't last. They'll get the strain will be too much on the motor, and you'll end up burning the motors up prematurely. Let's see what you said here. I missed the chat. I feel like, or no, I like Lifelike's N-scale locomotives better than their HO engines. Well, okay, so yeah, I see what you're saying there. I don't have an opinion on that because I don't have anything in scale. I will eventually. Just I don't have anything yet. I don't think I've stumbled across a good enough deal for me to go, okay, I'll spend some money on it. Usually, I come across a deal like this and go, where am I spending my money? HO or in scale? I've already got a ton of HO, and I like working on it, and I use it for my videos like I'm doing right now. So I tend to end up wanting to spend the money here instead of spend it on in scale stuff. But I don't have anything in scale at all. I don't have any track. I don't have any cars. I don't have any locomotives. I don't have anything like that. Everything I do is strictly HO right now. It's not that I'm against it, just what it's just what I got and what I'm used to. If I was going to do anything, I would really like to go up. I think it's either O or G scale. I can't remember which one's the next one. I never can keep them in order, but because I feel like they'd be easier to work on. Get some more of that oil off of there. Make sure it doesn't run down in the commutator. Do that on both sides. Wipe that off. There actually wasn't any oil there, but that oil is helping get some of that soot and stuff off of that right there. All that dust and that too. I got you. Okay. Yeah, I can't keep the scales in order. We're going to go ahead too. I'm going to use a little more alcohol, and we're going to clean that commutator one more time because I can still see some stuff on it I don't like, but hopefully running it a little bit here has helped break some of that loose. I just hold it up like this and just run it back and forth. Makes all the difference in the world. Yeah, that looks a ton better. Good deal. You can get a Kato N-scale board with DCC for only $217. Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. A big boy for $217 is a great deal. Oh, my wheels come off here. There we go. Yeah, that's absolutely a good deal. It's just, I'll be honest with you. Everything I have, if you've watched all my videos and everything I've posted, nothing that I have purchased has cost me more than about $35 for a single locomotive, and a lot of stuff I've to $40 and bought a ton of stuff and just fixed it up and repurposed it or was able to make it work. I'm a firm believer in making sure that I have a farm that I work and I say a farm, I mean I don't plant corn, but I have like a hobby farm that I work, and I've got a garage, and I've got toys outside too. So, and I've got other money and other priorities in other places. So I just kind of make my money go as far as I possibly can, doing it this way. And if for some reason somewhere down the road things went bananas and I got to where I was doing this every night and had a ton of people in here doing this stuff, then yeah, absolutely. I'd probably end up having some nice big boys and stuff like that. And and if it doesn't, then it doesn't. I just enjoy doing this. It's something I just enjoy. But there's that. So now we've got both of our bearings here. We've got our worm gear here, our worm gear here. And now we've got our gearbox that we're going to go ahead and add a little oil to. I'm just going to do oil now for my gearboxes on this, and I'll do grease later when I actually take the truck apart, when that side frame comes in. So I'm just going to reach in here because there's a spot on top where it's exposed, and you can fix that. If you look here, these still have some old grease on them from the factory, so that the trucks would turn and slide real easy. Trying to hold it up there where you can see it. But yeah, there's still some old grease in here. I'm going to go ahead and drop some oil in this truck. Just reach in here. One little drop. Try not to go crazy on that because you don't need it on your wheels and you don't want it on your track. If it isn't because of it would be an attraction problem that it would develop, it'll be a connection problem because of the oil getting between the wheels and the rail. And the more I do, the better it gets. It actually runs really, really well. I'm pretty pleased with that. So we're going to go ahead for now, and I'm going to put this shell back on. Not a perfect shell. I think I'm going to go ahead and be in the market to give me another one. I don't know if I'll find this exact shell. I'd prefer to. But if I don't, I'll end up painting the body black. I'll paint the tank black and the trucks black, and I'll do a Burlington Northern because I don't have one of those yet. As far as a GP38-2, I don't have a Burlington Northern. So, but yeah, you talk about a smooth runner now. Nice and slow, cross forward and backward. Heck yeah. Yeah, you can't beat that. Not for something coming out of a box of a ton of stuff for $30. That's freaking awesome. So we got one good Athearn. We got a Santa Fe that needs some work, a Tyco Santa Fe, which that was expected. Those Power Torques always do. And now we're to the box of parts. I've got a ton of stuff that came in with all of this. The lady gave me everything the kid had because the kid went into other things and just wanted the stuff gone. And this is pretty wild. I've got some pretty cool stuff here that's going to be able to go on a set that I'm going to do in the future. We're going to start with this box. I've got probably 25 or 30 feet worth of track, maybe more. It came with this, which is for this water, excuse me, which is for this water tower. So I got one of these. I think this is for a mill. Got that tower that come with it. I got a whole box of trucks and couplers and screws that are all going to be real handy that I got to sort through. I got power line poles. Let's scoot these back so that I got some more room here. Signal bridge, a lifelike signal bridge. I've got the original pamphlet to go with it. So I've got these parts here, which you can't see a whole lot there, but there's some of the parts. Some of it's been pulled out. I'm hoping I've got everything I need to piece this all together. There's some more of it there. This, caution to change bulb. Disconnect the power to light before attempting to change. This is some more of it here. I mean, I can't believe everything that was in this for $30. Here's some Atlas. I I think these are the rail joiners. Yeah, they're rail joiners is what they are. Atlas rail joiners. This is something I'm going to sit to the side. I don't even want you guys to see it yet. That's the coolest part of all of this. Here is a signal deal for a crossing, and I actually have the crossing in here too. More power line poles. Here's some more of that signal. I found it on Marketplace. Somebody just had it up for sale, and I jumped on it. Some more switches. I think these are like your powered, you turn the switch on and off to switch your switches back and forth. I even got this was pretty neat. This is a tester's brush and like an X-Acto knife hobby kit. A roof to something. Another, I guess, like some panels and a roof. More wheels, more parts, more signals. A little platform. I think that goes with that mill. A little house that's still on in the things to put together. A set of steps, I think, that go with the mill. That's all in this box. Let me pull this off. I'll show you this box. And this is just more of that miscellaneous stuff, which all is handy. Pieces of track, connectors, all that kind of stuff that's going to help me put my new project together. So we got that. And then the last thing that I was just super, super excited about, I talked about wanting one for a while and never could find one that was reasonably priced. This is an Atlas turntable, and it turned out this is from like 1976. There is a date on it here somewhere. I actually bought at a train show. I bought a HO scale Norfolk and Western, I think is what it is. It's not GP9. It's a tall nose GP7, I think. That was in Athens for $8. The guy said that just needs to be cleaned, and he was right. It actually ran good without being cleaned. So, but yeah, I got this, and there's a controller in here, some switches, a cross switch, and then two smaller switches. It's all Bachmann Easy Track. There's the crossing down there you can see too. A bunch of the step-up deals to elevate your track. There's the rest of those cars. All of this. Those 4 locomotives I've showed you so far. And then this too. These ain't cheap. I mean, not for something decent anyway. Turntable motor drive. And it's all here. It's all the right stuff. Whoever had this layout whenever they had it all up and running, I bet you it was a sight to see. It was pretty cool. And what's also neat about this this turntable is as it turns, it stops in the correct position. And it like pauses for, I forget how long it pauses, but you just keep cranking and it's paused, and then it finally starts to turn again, and then it goes to the next one and it pauses and it turns to the next one. And you just sit here and you can either crank that by hand, or you put this little box on it with the motor on it, and it'll turn it on its own, and you just power it by however you're going to power it. But yeah, so I got that. I got all that track. I got those switches, the crossing lights, all of that, all of this, all of those, all of that, all for all for $30. I have made some HO cardboard buildings and some HO building kits as well. Nice. Yeah, I was able to read the lines, man. You're good. But yeah, couldn't be happier. Just totally stoked, beside myself on all this stuff. Some of it may work, some of it's old enough it don't, but I can still, these little screws are definitely handy. These rail joiners are handy. All just stuff that I'm going to be able to use here in the future whenever I'm ready to start putting my actual setup together. I thought that was pretty neat. I think that goes with the crossing. Then my light poles, and then I had my wheels and my couplers. Let's see what all is in here. I wonder if there's anything metal in here, or Katie. So we've got, that's a thread, that's a screw in, which I don't care for this, but that can be cut off if you want to just make one that just screws in. There's one for a Tyco. Same thing, there's one that screws in. Not sure what that is. It clips into something though. That one, the clips are broke off the bottom. You'd probably have to try to drill it out and screw it in. I don't know that you'd get that lucky. And that coupler's broke, so I think that's junk. This is the top for a boxcar. That might be in handy for somebody that, or if I say for somebody, for me, if I'm missing a piece off the top of a boxcar. Lots of screws, little horn hook couplers. There's a Katie coupler there. I take that back. I don't think that's a Katie coupler, but it's a lookalike. And most of the lookalikes end up turning out halfway decent. There's a signal light, more horn hooks. Here is an Athearn coupler box for one of the locomotives. That'll work good. I've got a bunch of them that are missing that box, so that's going to help me out. That's for the bottom of a rail car to hold a coupler in. And actually, we are going to do that this evening. I am going to do that because it's going to drive me nuts if I don't. So I need these two pieces, and I'm going to put them up here there you can see them. I need a little bitty screw so that I can put that coupler back onto that rock boxcar that's going to go into my personal set. See how it's missing that there? So all I'm going to have to do is find me a little Phillips screw, and I think I've got one. Let's see here. Let me check. These little Altoids cans are real handy for holding this kind of stuff. And I don't have a screw in there, but I've got some other coupler style stuff in there. So what I'm going to do real quick is go ahead and put that stuff away. So there's a coupler, coupler, more couplers. None of those are what I would call a proper screw for couplers. So those are going to stay out of there. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Couple wheels. None of that there. Those are junk. That's good. That's good. Okay, cool. I'm going to put them away. I'm going to pull out my drawer here. This sits on my drawer while I'm filming. And I'm going to see if I should have between this box here, which I don't think I have anything in there that's going to work. But I do have this one here that's got some small screws in it. I'll push that one to the back. This was not $1.99. The box was $1.99. I had to get me a little tackle box for this. Got some extra gears here that might help me with that steam locomotive when I take it apart. But I need a short, and it looks like I got one right there. I don't know if this is magnetic or not. It's not. I need a magnetic screwdriver so I can pull that out of there. Nope, that's not it. That's too long. Where's it at? That ought to work. I think it will. So there's one of those. We're going to try that one and see what happens here. I think that'll be the right size. Let me stick that in there and see how it fits in this plate. That should work. And naturally, I got it in the wrong side. It's going to go the other way. But, well, now it's in my box of goodies. Seen a video of someone unboxing a HO layout built from the 40s to the early 70s. Did anybody see the, what is his name? Gilbert. I've heard of Gilbert. What was it called? And here you go. Here's a motor right here that I've saved. that's in pretty good shape. The Impractical Jokers guy, I think it was Marv, that bought that railroad up in it's like in Maryland or something. It was up in the small states up there around DC. But he bought I don't know which one it fell into. Where'd that screw go? He bought a full-on railroad that was going to be dismantled, and because the guy died, I guess. And where is that screw? I'm gonna go nuts. I know it's here somewhere. It fell in here. Just naturally, I should have had this shut before I started doing that. That was a really cool setup, and it was neat to see him purchase that and be able to keep it alive, so it didn't get destroyed. Oh man, where did that screw go? I guess we're gonna try to find another one because it's gone. Them little screws are terrible like that. I have a terrible time trying to find them when I drop them in there like that, and I about dumped it all out anyway. Let's see here. What do I got in here for screws? I think that one's there. Nope, that one's too long. There's one right there. There we go. Now I'm going to close all of this before I put that coupler on. I don't lose another one. Or at least close it far enough that I ain't got to worry about it falling out. There. What's up, Jeff's Train World? Oh, we're just, I just got done going through a ton of stuff I picked up for next to nothing. Fixed an old Athearn, got it up and running again. Just missing one part for that. But yeah, I picked up, I don't know, 60 rolling stock, 4 locomotives, a ton of track, a ton of switches. I forget what they call them. The power line. What was that called? What was that? That's gonna drive me nuts. Oh, a turntable. I picked up all kinds of stuff, and I picked it all up for just $30. So I was pretty stoked about that. Oh, I don't blame you. By rights, I probably should be in bed sleeping. I've got a long day ahead of me tomorrow. But I decided to come in here this evening. I was so excited about this deal that I had gotten that I wanted to put it on here and share it. So, yeah, not going to lie. I probably should be sleeping, but I felt like I needed to come in here and do this tonight because I'm going to be gone the next 3 days. Where is... Need a little bit bigger screwdriver. Hard to believe you would think with this being what it is, but it just doesn't want to bite on that. And I don't want to mess it up. This is a flat, but I don't think it's gonna, well, it might. Maybe. There, oop. I thought I had it, guess I don't. Where is my little Phillips screwdriver? Well, that's even smaller than that one. Where is... Yes, I have loved this paint scheme for years. Just very hard to find it because it's, in my opinion, I think at least around here in Missouri anyway, it's a very popular paint scheme. And you don't see a lot of them. I want to find it. I almost think with my Union Pacific here that's in rough shape, I almost think that what I want to do is find me a GP38-2 in that Rock Island paint scheme and switch out the tops. I don't think it'd look too bad with the gray paint underneath. Even if I did decide to paint it black, I could do that. But I'm going to get up, I guess, and get me a Phillips screwdriver. Oh! That's what's nice about my little workshop out here. It is a little bit of a mess, but I do have a decent little set of tools in. So between working on this. I got my saw in here, table saws, motorcycle, paint's all up there and down here. I got my toolbox. So yeah, I'm kind of a little bit of everywhere, but it ain't the worst thing in the world. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get that truck out so I can put this box in without having any trouble. That's the thing. These things are all two-pointed. This one's got a really good point on it too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, now that the weather got dark here a little bit ago, so I come in and have been working in here. What do I got going on here? We're kind of cooped in. But most of the time I am outside work, at least during the summer, on my house or on a tractor or my truck or whatever. I'm outside doing that too. So I do a little bit of a lot of things. And this is something I just like to do whenever I feel like sitting down and tinkering for a little bit. And I've gotten pretty good at fixing them. There. Yeah, I'm going to take this one out temporarily so that I can get this coupler in. Those of y'all that have liked the stream, I sure do appreciate it. Okay, so there's that. So now I can go ahead and put this in. It's kind of a pain. Sometimes it feels like to do it this way, but it's better to do it this way than have to fight with it the other way. What's going on, Eugene? Ooh, come on now. I may have to cut this plate down just a little bit. Looks like it's a little long for what I'm doing, but we're gonna find out here in a second. Oh no, it's gonna be just fine. The coupler's short. That's half the battle right there. Coupler's just a little bit shorter than I want it to be. Get that started. Yep, that's gonna work. It's sitting in there where it's supposed to. There we go. Perfect. Now I can put that back in, and I'm going to have me a nice little Rock Island boxcar. I think I have one other Rock Island piece of rolling stock, and it's a cheap Tyco or Bach. I think it's a Bachmann. It's a cheap Bachmann hopper car, and I don't even think it's in good enough condition to be put on the track. I think it's missing wheels. I think one of the trucks is broke. It's something I had from when I was a kid, and I never did turn around and get it working right. Let me back that off just a fuzz. Okay, there we go. Cool. That one's done. And that was the one I was excited the most about having. Between this signal bridge, that's what it's called. Couldn't remember it, and I found the paperwork. I've got this one. And I've got too much stuff sitting around. That's what I got. And I've got this one here. This one I need a couple wheels for, and actually I have a couple wheels for it. So I'm going to go ahead and throw them on too. I bought from Eve Model. I bought metal wheels for some of my other rail cars, and then when I took the other wheels off, I just went ahead and saved them just in case I was in a pinch and needed one. And now I've got some here that I can put on here in a pinch, because them steel wheels, I like having them, and they're awesome to have. But they're so darn expensive to buy unless you can find a good deal on them. And actually, I got a good deal on these. I went through that Ally or Allied Express, and was able to get a dozen steel wheels for like $2. And I ordered a couple other things. I ordered I ordered a well car kit because I wanted to see what it would take to put one of them together through Eve Model, and that turned out pretty well. And then I ordered, what else did I think I might have ordered a flashlight or something. I don't know, something for the garage. But yeah, And yeah, that caboose is pretty interesting, isn't it? Um, I really like it. I think it's pretty neat. See if I can get this in there. I think everything in this box, because I was looking at the track and stuff too. I think everything in this box sat in a room with like chlorine tablets or something, because the wheels, um, uh, and the axles, they either rusted, like straight up rusted, or they turned green and corroded. There we go. So there's that box car. I'm going to get all these screws picked up and I'm going to put them in my screw bin. There's a wheel there I need to put away. Oh, that's right. I got couplers from Eve Model 2. These are the little couplers I picked up, which they're a little longer than I wanted them to be. I didn't realize I ordered longer sets, but they'll work good for different things here and there. If I'm in a pinch and need one and actually want a decent type of KD coupler on it, then it'll work. So I'm not too irritated with that. For now, these are going to go in my, I got boxes with different stuff sorted in different places. That's staying out. That goes in the box. That stays out. Box, box. And then, here we go. Slowly pull this out. I do have a few of those drive line ends too. Those come in handy. You get them where the drive line's broke, or you need to modify one or whatever. Those work really well. And typically, a lot of them, the engine shaft size is the same size as a lot of the others. They all share that shaft size, so you can transplant the female end of a drive line into whatever you need to transplant it into to make something work. I have Norfolk and Western. I have, that's something else I've been looking for, Eugene. I don't go rail fanning, but I did get a good video if you check my TikTok, and I think it's on YouTube too, of CSX locomotives on flatbed cars coming through town. But let's see, to answer Eugene, Norfolk and Western, and I have Conrails. I don't have any Norfolk Southern or CSX trains yet, but I am working on a Norfolk Southern that I'm making custom, a non-painted Athearn model that I'm putting together. I'll show you the paint job I've already got done on it. I've already got the black part finished. I think I'm going to try to matte it just a little bit. I just haven't got that far yet. I'm going to matte it after I finish the decals. But this is what I've got so far. I went ahead and put a nice clean black gloss coat on it to start. You can see it's got a really nice shine to it. But I got that part done. And then I'm going to, let's see, there's the cab there. I went and took the cab off to do that, and then made sure I took the glass out of the cab too. That way that didn't get messed up. But yeah, I've got this all painted and ready. Now I'm just waiting on the Norfolk Southern decals to come in. I'm going to go ahead and put the decals on. Then I'm going to put my matte finish on it, and it'll be added to the collection and added into my running locomotives. I've actually got the locomotive over on the track now, just the chassis and motor, and have got that all cleaned up, lubed up, ready to go. And now I'm just in the process of waiting on the decals to get here, and then that'll be ready to go. This here, I wonder if this, I don't know why it's got that little bitty hole, but I wonder if this locks in. I don't think it does. I'm going to try to figure out a way to mount a coupler here, so at least I can drag the thing from one side. I saw that video. That's a sharp looking locomotive. It's got that, it's the CSX front cab with the Army, I think it's like called digital camouflage on it. Yeah, that was freaking cool. And then naturally all the tanks that thing was towing. I'm curious to know how much that locomotive weighed going into DC. That was pretty cool. That was really cool, actually. No, it wasn't just pretty cool. That was really cool. There's that dummy that I'm going to end up doing some work to. I think I'm going to repaint it or just find another shell for it. And I'm curious. I don't know if I can. Yes. Yep. I don't know if I could transplant this onto there or not. I mean, they're really, really close. And I can put that matte clear coat on it to finish it out after I decal it and then put some more details on it. I think that would look pretty good on there. And then I can paint the truck covers too. But I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. I'd like to Frankenstein it up and make it look kind of cool, but I haven't made up my mind yet what I'm going to do there. Oh, and I'm still waiting on parts. I'm kind of just more or less hunting. This is one of my favorite Tyco shells. I have some Chesapeake and Ohio stuff. I have a switcher and an F unit that are Chesapeake and Ohio. And then I have is it Baltimore and Ohio? I think. It's the dark navy blue. I say it's not dark. It's just like a navy blue, and I think it's got yellow on the hood. So I've got that. But yeah, I want to do this one up, and I'd like to put this on an Athearn frame. I just need to find a decent one with a beat up shell that I can swap this across for. I just like the way this one looked, and this one's got the horn. It's got the handrail still all the way around, which is rare for these. It did have a little bit of doctoring done right here, but a little touch-up paint won't hurt that. But yeah, that's something I want to try to finish in the future. I have a GP20 here that I've got all blacked out that I'd like to go ahead and it looks like I got to put a little more paint here. Yeah, I've got that one. I've got here. Well, we can do this. I'll show you what I got going on. We'll go into the kitchen, and I'll show you what I got. I got as far as locomotives on my shelf. So if we start at the top, those two pin centrals up there, I custom painted. Norfolk and Western was from a train show. I can remember pretty well where I got all of these. I've got all of these here. There's that Chesapeake and Ohio there switcher. That's an AHM switcher. Two Athearns, and then this is a custom painted C630 Tyco that I did, Norfolk and Western. That was originally a 1776 Tyco. I custom painted. I painted the handrails and stuff on that Illinois Central Gulf. I have this one here. This one is an all brass locomotive with a B unit that I have sitting back there from Great Northern. Trying to think. There's that PA1 that I have that's a dummy I picked up for $5. These two right here, if you haven't seen the video, you ought to go check it out. I took these two. These were Santa Fe. They're either 33 or 36 Bs, I believe. U33 or 36 Bs. And I took and painted them all up and put them in Penn Central paint scheme and painted the handrails on them and just made them look like something better than a cheap Santa Fe that everybody has. I painted up those two Penn Central F units. There's my Conrails there. That's an SD45. I went ahead and did the handrails on it, did a little work on the top. Yep. Thanks, Eugene. You're right. Here's a couple more of my chassis system things. Those two are AHM chassis system FP45s. I believe that chassis on the end there is a GP38-2, I think. That Burlington GP35. Some Southern Pacific stuff I haven't detailed yet. That's another Southern Pacific GP35. That's a really nice Bachmann Canadian Pacific. Yeah, the Conrail RS3, that's actually a model power unit. I've had that one a long time. It's not the handrails and that are all on it. It look good, but it's looks kind of cheap. It needs a lot of detailing work done to it, but it runs and operates good. Yes, yep, you're right. Yeah, they bought out Conrail. We'll come back down here. Atlantic Coastline, Erie Lackawanna, Amtrak switcher. Lots of Santa Fe between the F units, a few GP 9 or 7s. I can't remember which ones are which. That one's an Atlas. The lighter blue one here, that's an Atlas. The other one's an AHM. These two here are Bachmann's. That's an AHM. That's an AHM. That's an SD40-2. SD45s. These two here are Atherns. This BNSF is an Athern. This thing, I've been looking for one for a long time, and you don't do better than $30 on one. This is that DD35. Trying to get it to focus a little better. For whatever reason, it's got two sets of motor mounts in it, and somebody has set it up to run on one motor. It does okay, but it's just I don't know. I wish it had both motors running in it. It's what it is, though. This is a Marx locomotive from Union Pacific. Very, very basic. Lifelike, Bachmann, Union Pacific models there. I've got two Walthers SOO line, SD40-2s. This is that Norfolk and Western here. You were talking about those. This one I got for $8. It's an Athern. I cleaned it up. It runs really well. It even has new motor mounts in the bottom in it. I cleaned it up. It runs really well. I got that for $8. I got that Dash 8. That was the $30 Dash 8. I don't have anything from Clinchfield. Nope. Don't mind getting it. I'm kind of looking to try to pick up most railroads. This Tyco here is pretty rare. This is a Delaware and Hudson C630. And these are all Tycos on the bottom here. So there's another Chesapeake in Ohio, I believe, is this one here with the yellow nose. And then I think this is Baltimore in Ohio, is this blue one here. Yeah, Baltimore in Ohio. And then a couple Burlingtons. But yeah. It's slow. It's kind of a slow go, but I've been collecting for a while now, and all of these are either run or are designated dummies. And I have more that run than are dummies, that's for sure. Most of my switchers are dummies because that stand-up motor in the rear, where the brushes attach at the top, they would be burned out, or the insulator would be shot in them, and they were going to be a pain in the butt to fix. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with all of these. And then if we come back in here, we've got that. This is the Athern that I told you I've got ready for the Norfolk and Southern shell. Got a Tech 2 that I use here. Just some of my hopper cars in that. Cattle car, a couple of Walthers, cement cars. Nothing super special here, but it's a place for me to test and run stuff when I've got a minute. Some extra track that came on that deal that I had bought today. Got one other thing I'll show you in here. I'm running out of room for things, and this has kind of just become a shelf. I got some passenger cars. There's one of my hopper or not hopper cars, well cars. Got the rest of them stacked right there for now. I don't have very good storage behavior at the moment, but I'm trying to keep things from getting scratched and tore up. Lots of boxes, lots of parts, some more shells and different things that I'm going to be working on in the future. Stuff I can rob horns off, this, that, the other. But yeah, got all of this. I've been saving bubble wrap. That way I've got something to ship stuff in when I do giveaways and stuff in the future. Got some Pennsylvania passenger cars, Santa Fe, New Haven, Burlington, Burlington Northern, big, big Spirit line. I don't know a whole lot about that one there. It's been custom painted by somebody, and they just didn't do. I don't know if it was a kid or whatever. I don't criticize, but it just doesn't. It just does wasn't done well. And then I've got tons of different things in those there. But yeah, all kinds of stuff going on. If we go back in here, I think what I'm going to try to do here real quick is I'm going to go ahead and see about getting this Union Pacific put on the tracks. And these three little, well, I say three little cars. I can only get two if I can't find a coupler for this caboose. We're going to see if I can find a coupler for that caboose. And if I can, then I'll pull all four of them, or all three of them. I take it behind that Union Pacific before I wrap up the live stream this evening. And then I'm going to be on a hiatus for a little bit. And then I'll be back at it again probably Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. I got to find somewhere to go. All of these cars that I picked up and don't have don't have any space. I'm gonna have to find a way to until I can work on them for projects. For the moment, any tips, they're more than welcome to holler them. I'm going to see if I can find me a coupler for these. And I don't have, do they clip? It's hard to tell. Let's see here. That goes. Huh. It must have come out of that hole. And I can't see. Well, we'll work on that later. But trying to figure out. Yeah, the UP locomotive for sure. It took a little finagling, and if you check some of the earlier footage that I've got from this evening from this live stream, yeah, it works awesome. Let me back some of this stuff off so it's easier to see. But yeah, look, I mean, super, super slow, and that's on a cheap Bachmann controller. I just have to do some handrail working that on it, or find me another one just like it to replace it. I really would prefer that one stay Union Pacific with as nice as it looks. And Union Pacific is the town I used to live in, DeSoto, had a Mopac. It was called Mopac. And all they do is repair rail cars, and they're a Union Pacific shop. They work on locomotives too, and do paint. I think they did paint at one point. I don't know if they actually do locomotives anymore, but I know they paint auto carriers and stuff. So it's definitely something I want to keep Union. So, but yeah, this thing works awesome. I actually have a video on TikTok and on YouTube of when Big Boy came to DeSoto back in August of last year. Or no, not August, September of last year. That was a sight to see. That was pretty cool seeing that come in. Yeah, it was neat with that Big Boy that came in too. That they had a it was I can't remember. It was a -8 or a -9. I'll be honest, they both look pretty similar to me. Um, but it was either a dash 8 or a dash 9 hooked to the back of it. It wasn't hooked to the tender. It was hooked. It was hooked in behind the water car, I believe, that they had that went with it, and it was helping with the braking because the locomotive, apparently, to do the brakes on the locomotive is ungodly expensive, and um, they just used that locomotive strictly for braking and let the steam locomotive be slowed down by the dash 8 or dash 9, whichever it was. Let's see here if I can get that shut off. Man, I really want to find a coupler for this. I haven't seen one like this yet, and I don't know how that put one on it. I know naturally the coupler goes over that pin, but I don't know that I have anything that'll lock over it or sit over it to do that. I don't know if I can just glue a plate over it. Like I have them bread ties that I'll paint black, and I'll drill holes and put them over them to lock the couplers in. I've done that before. Um, I don't know what I'm going to do with that one to get that one ready to go. I might have to do some research and see if there's somebody else on here too that knows what to do with it. But yeah, I really like that caboose. That's probably my favorite thing. CSX in Waynesboro, Virginia on the North train. Huh. I'll be dog. See, the only steam engines I've ever seen in person was Big Boy, and the other one might have been a Challenger. I'm not sure. But I saw one when I was 3 years old, and I don't remember. I just have pictures. And then I've seen the one that I saw last year. And it was hilarious. If you look at the video that I posted, there was a kid at the fence. He had his hands on the rails, and he was watching. It was in, and it was slowing down, and it was coming to a stop, and he pulled on the horn, and that thing made that big bellowing noise, and that kid about lost his mind. His hands come off the bar, and he come to running away from the rails to come back to mama. It was pretty funny. It scared the crap out of him, but I think it humbled him, and it didn't scare him bad enough. He teared up or nothing. It just scared the crap out of him, and he just kept watching it and was in awe. And it was cool to watch, younger kids actually being interested in something other than their phones. I was pretty happy to see that. We're gonna have to figure this thing out. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we got to figure this out. I think we're almost 2 hours into this, so I'm gonna end up killing this feed before too long. But let's see if I can try to get that thing open at least and see what's going on inside. See if I have a shot at fixing it. I'm gonna move some stuff to the side here real quick. I'm happy I've got those two cars going. Outdoor Adventures with Austin. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Happy you like it. And I'm happy you're interested in trains, man. It's kind of a rare thing anymore for people to actually be interested in this stuff. It ends up being a childhood toy or something they tinker with a little bit, and then they just grow out of it and they never go back. And it's kind of sad. And everybody's got their own hobbies and stuff. But man, I wish there was more people that enjoyed it like I do. Let's see here. We're going to take this bottom apart here real quick and see if I can see a gear in here that's split or twisted or something. Or if something wasn't put together right. That's great, man. That's something you and me have in common. I've liked them since I was little too. I don't know if this is going to come off like this or not. We're going to see. I may have to pull out that last screw there on the back. Maybe. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping I can just pop this loose. I think I've got a little flat screwdriver here somewhere. If I miss your message, I'm sorry. Just keep typing. I'll catch it eventually. I'm kind of focused on this at the moment. That should pop off unless somebody's already tried to glue that down. That should pop loose. Just trying not to jerk, because then if you've never had one of these apart before, which I haven't fooled with one of these yet, and you jerk, and all of it comes loose, you'll have a heck of a time trying to figure out how it went back together. This one does have a little arrow on it. At least it'll tell you the cover goes goes one way or the other. And it does pick up power and it does try to run. It just slips. So I'm hoping that since we don't have a pickup problem, that the gear problem is straightforward and we can get this figured out. Man, it's almost like somebody glued that shut, because it does look like it's split in there. I sure hope not, because I don't want to break this. If I do, it's going to be a learning experience and I'll have to find another one like it, but I really don't want to break it. And if I do, maybe I can fix it, but I'd rather it be as close to original as I possibly can. Because that's definitely split there. That's definitely made to come apart. So it's not like I'm prying on something and I'm missing a screw. This should come loose. And this actually will come off, because for some reason that screw was put in. Doesn't look like it's gotten ungodly hot or anything. Come on. That first one doesn't look so great. Pretty sure the gears are stripped off of it, and I don't know that I have one that size. Piece one together. Come on. I've never seen one that difficult to take apart in the rear. That's got to have been glued at some point. I'm pretty sure it is a Pennsylvania railroad. It's very hard for me to... First off, it won't go into focus. Come on, focus in on me. That's about the best I can do on that. That's what it looks like. I'm not sure if it's actually a Pennsylvania. I'm not sure what that is. It's hard for me to read. And this says made in Mexico. So I don't know where Macao is. Come on. I don't know if that's like River Rossi, like something like out of Italy, or usually it would just say made in Italy, but come on. Unless I'm screwing up because it's supposed to slide forward. I didn't think about that. It does have an arrow on it, but that don't always mean it slides forward. Man, you talk about tight. We may get... I don't want to get too awful rough with it, but goodness. Oh, wow. Because, yeah, it comes loose up here. I don't see anything that should be causing me any trouble, really. Wow. Well, I don't want to be rough with it, but it's getting there. It's coming to be that way here for too long. Sometimes you just gotta, I guess, just be a little more ignorant with it. I don't know. I got that one screwdriver stuck in there to hold it open so that maybe I can pry from here and pop it off. I tried sliding it forward and I can't get it to slide forward, because I thought maybe that was the problem with that arrow on it, but I think more and more that the arrows just made the ride, that's just the direction that one's supposed to be. Where's my other? I got a little X-Acto blade here that might help me here. If I don't put a hole in my hand first. If I put a hole in my hand, y'all can laugh at me. Looks like a Pennsylvania railroad. That's what I thought. Norfolk. I was trying to read that last comment there. I love Norfolk and Western Railroad, J-Class Steam Locomotive 611. I got you. now. Try to be nice, and it's just not having it. I don't know what the deal is here. I've never seen one like I almost 100% believe somebody has glued this in the rear. They've had to have for it to be this this obstinate. It's had to have been glued or melted or something, because there is a seam there. Gosh, dog. I don't know if this is going to help me or hurt me, but I'm going to try to just kind of run my knife across it a few times and try to cut some of that out of there maybe. I don't know. And then we'll find out why it's been glued together. Man. Okay. Yep, I ain't got enough to get my screwdriver in there yet, I don't think. Oh, what was that? Man. May have to go back to the knife again. We'll see. That's pretty bad when you've got one with the cover that's stuck that. Man, that bad. Holy cow. There goes that blade. I done broke it. I'll have to get another one. And I think I've got that set that I got from today, from that deal that I bought, that should help me there. But gosh, I've never seen one that straight up. There it goes. And that is not what I wanted it to do, and it did it anyway. Any way you cut it, somebody's been in here before. You can tell that just by looking at this one. This one, I believe, had a gear in it, and now it just free spins. That one, that's the problem right there. The gear is spinning freely and not catching the other. But the axle, what's happening is the axle, the gear needs to be glued back to the axle. Because it doesn't drive from this end, which is great because it wouldn't come off anyway. So if I can figure out a way to get it apart and get that gear glued back to that axle, I bet we'll be in business. I just got to figure out how to get that apart. And I think what's going to happen is those little arms have to be taken off. Possibly. Because nothing's stripped. Which I am just blown away about. Haven't seen anything quite like that. Nothing's stripped in it. But it's just not... Yeah, it's just spinning in there is what it's doing. Now, oh, it is split though. There it is right there. It is split. Look at that. I don't know if you'll see it or not. I don't know if I can get to... There it is. Split right there. That's what's wrong. It's got a bad split gear in it. And I don't think I have one of those. Since I don't have a ton of steam locomotives, I do have a box of gears. We're going to pull the box of gears out and see what I got. But well, what's this here? I doubt this will work, but I'm going to have a look at it here. I don't think the shaft, these wheels stick in on the ends. Yeah. First off, that's not near big enough, but that, if I clip the ends off, that one might work. Well, stay up there. Don't move. And that's out of, wait a minute, here's one here. That's a lifelike. Try that one. Okay, we're going to close that one up. I'm going to look at these other gears. I have some gears that are free floating already that I wouldn't have to disassemble. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing is it's a Bachmann, because especially with the gear being split like it is, Bachmann did not use good quality gears. There's another one that might work. See, and I've got stuff like this too that's in a box that could possibly work, different sizes. I don't think any of them will work. I did order a couple of them that are 3D printed ones, but I don't think those will work. And they're not perfect. Like, they need to be carved on with a knife to make the teeth right, because the 3D printing wasn't as good as it should have been. Not to say that it was operator error per se, but the I don't know if these come apart or not. They should. It should be a real tight pinch. Yeah, Bachmann Athearn had black gears. Yeah. Yeah, I know Lifelike has like that blue neoprene looking color. Bachmann was clear, or like a white color. I just don't know how to get that apart. I don't know if I can unscrew these to get that out of there. I've got a little bitty pair of pliers here. I don't know if these will unthread or not. To try to do a gear swap on it. But I tell you what, if this works, and it looks like it's working, I'm going to be floored, because it'd be cool to have this thing running again. Yeah, that's what happens. This has got to be threaded out. And I have to do that on both sides. Then we'll have it apart. And then I got to see if I can actually get a gear that meshes. And the bad thing is, you got to put it all back together before you can get a decent answer as to what's going to work or what isn't. Man, that is a tiny, tiny screw. Tiny, tiny. This is going to be interesting. If I can get this going, I think I can do dang near anything. This is unreal. We're only at 2 hours. I was going to run just one, and one turned into two, and two's turning into three. So we'll just keep on trucking here, and as long as people want to stick around and watch, we'll just keep on going. So now I've got this one out. We'll have to make sure we're quartered out right whenever we put it back together. I don't know if these come apart or they do. I just felt them slip. So there's that one off of this side. If I pull this, that's what it is. It is completely broke. So I believe that's supposed to be all one piece, if I'm not mistaken here. I think. No, maybe those are spacers. I'm learning as we go here, folks. We're taking it apart and seeing what we can do to get it fixed. It's got a big hole in the center. I don't know if I'm going to find one that's the right one or not. I don't know. That looks close, but it's got the gears offset to one side the way this is made. And I don't want, and I mean, that gear's pretty wide in there, but I really don't want it riding from side to side. This one, I don't think the diameter is the right size. It's bigger, but then your spacers don't have the room in there either to sit on it. This one maybe. Man, that sure looks close. If it ain't right, it's not by much. We're gonna try this one. And how is this made here? That shaft's not the same length, so we gotta use the one off the steam locomotive to do this. I'm hoping I can just do this without breaking it and it'll slip off. Oh, it's going. Cool. So I got it down to the end here. Man, you'd be surprised. That looks really freaking similar. Like really close. That hole looks just a fuzz bigger, but that doesn't mean that it is. Hang on a minute here. Let's see how tight that fits. That fits pretty tight. And I'll be honest, if I put because naturally we're just experimenting here. If I put that shim on, and don't drop it, and then I put a little bit of glue on here, when I slip it on here, it should, I would think, let's put this on there and see how it feels. Yeah, it's just a little too loose for my liking. I don't want it to slip. So if I can put a little bit of glue on the inside of this, I can get that glued in place. Get my collars on, get my wheels and collars on, and then we'll be good to go. So we're going to try this. We're going to see how this goes. I think they're the same size. They sure look like it. Man, if they aren't, they're really close. Let me see. I have a little glue here. I meant to pick up some glue today and I forgot. But we're going to see if this little bit of glue I got here is going to be enough to hold that one in place. In a way I want it to slip, but in another way I'd prefer it not. So we're going to try a little here and see if I can get some. Come on. Oh, there it goes. I don't need a ton, just enough. So we're going to slip this dude on there. Okay. Not drop things. Put this shim on there. Put this on. And man, that actually was a decent transplant. That actually might work. We're going to see. I sure hope it does. Now the only thing I got to worry about is making sure that my wheels are quartered correctly when I go to put this back together, and I got to get them two little bitty screws back on here. The only good thing is whenever I go to do this, I know that sits in there. I just have to make sure that my wheels are lined up on the other to get it right. Now, the only other question is, there we go. There's 1 and 2. Oh, it's slipping still. I got something else going on here beyond that. Yeah, that gear was split and it was going to have to be fixed, but it might be enough. Maybe. That might be enough to get it going. We're just gonna run on that. It might be enough, because to be honest, this poor thing has seen better days. We're gonna try to get this lower screw in here, and then we just have to fight to get the other one in, which just is going to involve a little twisting. I should be able to flip all of this out, and then I don't want to mess up my contacts. Start right here with this one on this side. If we get this thing running, I am going to be just tickled to death. I don't have a wrench or a socket that small. Little bitty tweezers, or not tweezers, but pliers. These actually are pretty handy if I can get this screw to start. Just got to hold it straight enough to get it in there. And then just take my time, because if I don't, it's not going to end up being the way I want it. That's actually going in, I think, now. So that's definitely a step in the right direction. Now we just got to make sure the other wheel is quartered correctly. We're still out just a little ways, I think. Yeah, it needs to go in just a little further. Okay. And now for the other side. This is going to be the tricky part, because making sure it's quartered correctly with the other wheels is the trick. And then making sure that the other hole is lined up right. And I think well, yeah, those have to be lined up too. So I take this and flip it out. I have to make sure that these two sleeves are right, because it won't matter as much. Yeah, the flat sides are right. Yeah, those are lined up. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that part was right. Yep, that's sitting in there. That's sitting in there. This wheel is out of quarter, just a fuzz. Let's see if I can. There we go. Yep. Okay. And now I got to figure out, I think I can get this out of here actually temporarily. Yep, I can get that out of there for the moment. That way I can see what I'm doing here. There we go. I can put that other little bitty screw in, and we should be good to go after I put the cover plate on. Since the cover plate's broke, we'll have to see just how far we can get with it. But best things known to man are these little bitty pliers, and they ain't nothing special. They're just a tool shop brand Menards plier. But man, they work good for putting these back in, because I couldn't do it with my fingers, and I don't have a socket small enough. And these don't have to be turned like to get super, super tight, so you don't have to worry about rounding them off. Okay, that's pretty good. It's not stupid loose and it's not crazy tight. Okay, here we go. We're going to put this back in and bend it back straight. Take my little pliers and get that back straight. Okay, that's all back together. I'm really hoping this works. If it doesn't, this is going to become a wall hanger. But for now, if we can get this back in. I don't know why they broke it back, or it broke back there, but okay, that's popped in. I've got this screw here and this screw here. Man, I sure hope this works. This will be one of my first. All these little locomotives, like these 040s, I think this is what they call a 260. They're terrible about splitting that gear, and it's because there's only, my personal belief is there's only one. So that's got to be part of the dilemma. The thing gets in a bind and it ends up stripping itself out. So I'm hoping we're going to get lucky here. Okay, we're already in better shape than we were, but it still ain't doing what it's supposed to do. For some reason or another, that top gear isn't sitting down in there like it's supposed to, because this is all nice and tight like it's supposed to be. But I did fix a split gear. That's a big step in the right direction as well. I've got to figure out why this isn't all sitting together as tight as it should be. Let me try tightening these up a little more. I don't want to strip anything, but it looked like I might have had some gap there between the plate and the man, it's picking up better than it was, but it's still got a serious problem with gears not jiving correctly. And it looks possible that we're having a little bit of a, which I don't understand. I don't think we're having a quartering problem. I think we're just having a gear spinning on a gear problem. Let me turn it around. I want to see what the other side's doing here. And this is the one thing about steam locomotives that drive me nuts. It's trying to go. It's just a matter of why is it not. Whoa. I don't want to. Is it this here? or is it this here? Maybe it's this here. That's just not. Yeah, it's like that's froze up. And it's like, and it's coming up and bumping it. Working on things here. Come on. Why? Because see, I can. So if I can get this to, it's catching, right? I can hear it. It's like the gears are not making contact. It has nothing to do with the quartering. That all is in good shape. It's got everything to do with what we got going on in here. And it might have something to do with this motor actually being loose too. We've got tape around the motor holding the wires all in place, which is fine. But we're not. If I pull this out, lock that back in, we're still loose. So where's my, that's tight. I wonder, that's all nice and loose like it's supposed to be. A lot of this can just be wound down to what diagnosing, really. It just takes time to figure out why it acts the way it does. Something is not holding it together correctly is what the problem is. Because it wouldn't be doing that if I had any other issues. Everything's functioning like it's supposed to. It's just not holding. What was that? Things just aren't in line like they're supposed to be or something. I don't know if it got dropped possibly at some point, or I keep checking screws, making sure all my screws are tight. Can't have that too tight because then that doesn't trail like it's supposed to. I think it's got something to do with the loose motor. Has to be. Because this turns in there and then turns that down here, and it's not, for whatever reason, nothing is staying tight enough to let them gears catch. The gear that I put in was the same height as the gear that was split. So the real question here is, why on earth am I still having a dilemma here? Let's go ahead and take this screw back out and see if I've got something somewhere blocking me from getting this down all the way, or pushing the axle all the way in where it's supposed to be, or something. So let's pull these two out. I'm curious if I pull these out, how it would act on the track then. Because these aren't, well, what is that? Right there. Piece of plastic or something in there. Okay, now I'm curious. Okay, we still got problems. But we're already in a better place than we were. At least the thing will move. Why is that gear? That's doing what it's supposed to. That gear's kind of loose in there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that something's wrong either. Whoa, okay. We're locking up because something isn't right with that lower gear. So if I pull these out like this and I look down in there at that gear, it does do a lot of slapping in there. It's got a lot of play in it. But I did pull a piece of broken plastic out of there too that I thought might have been part of the problem, and it fixed the whole problem, but it fixed some of it. We had a little bit of hair in there. It's almost like maybe that gear's split. Which, I mean, that's not out of the question, but I would think if it was split, it would give a little easier than it does. Is there a way to... Is it because maybe these screws ain't tight here? Well, considering that one's stripped, that one's tight. I don't know if that's got something to do with it or not. Get this back in here. All we can do is work at it a little bit and try something new. Work at it a little bit and try something new, and then see if we can. And I feel like that made a difference. Whether it did or not, I don't know. But I feel like it did. I don't know if I can keep it together here on the track and it do what it's supposed to, but we're going to give it a shot. Well, I got a light. Fixing that gave me a light, but it didn't fix my slipping issue. And well, there has to be something holding that upper gear, bound. And I'm not sure what is that supposed to get tighter. Well, that screwdriver ain't cutting it. That's bigger than most. I don't know why I'm not getting that loose. There it goes. Yeah. We're going to look in the top here and see if I can figure out why this is acting the way it is. There's the weight. Hopefully I can pull that away and we can look at this here and see what's going on before I come on up. There we go. It's coming. Okay, there's that weight gone. Pretty straight and simple. So now that we got that out, at least I can see what's going on up top. turn this a little bit and see if I can see anything in the gears. I don't see anything up there. I'm going to go ahead and tuck these wheels back in and see what it does on the track without the weight in it. I know it's not going to work really well, but I want to see. Wait a minute, hold the phone. So if that comes out like that, I don't see anything hung in there. That's the problem. I don't see anything that should be causing me trouble there. That should all be able to be sitting down in there like it's supposed to, nice and tight. Now, the only thing I could think is that maybe if I added some glue to help hold the motor down tight, that it might make a difference and hold, so because it's holding gear down too. Because I put a better gear in, and the gear was a direct replacement, it turned out to be. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get this to sit back in place like I want it to. Here's one, here's two. Well, I've got a decent idea of how the thing works. Why are we still having trouble here? Because the trouble never changed. For me changing that gear out to doing anything else, the trouble never changed. So, and like I said, I don't think anything's out of quarter. I've got everything pretty well where I want it to be. I just can't seem to keep that gear down there where I want it to be. What we got going on with that cover? I was trying to find out maybe if the cover wasn't holding things where it was supposed to. I mean, it's got cracks in it. It ain't been treated the best because it's obviously been broke right here. But we're still, well, it's not binding up. It's just not staying down where it's supposed to. So the motor's not staying in place. What if I put, man, I don't want to glue anything, but I don't want to be forceful with it because if I force it to hold it in, then if something does happen, it could tear the gears out of it. But what if we just, for shits and giggles, just for fun, because it's not like I'm losing much. I mean, I paid $30 for that whole lot. So what if I go ahead and just see about adding some glue to try to hold that housing down? Let me pull it out of here and see what it's sitting on. It's just sitting on that ledge. So if I put a little glue, and I'm not going to put a ton of glue, we're going to see what happens. If I put a little glue down on that ledge, maybe, just maybe, well, to do the glue, you have to get the glue out of the container. And I think I'm out. I think I'm out of glue. Oh shit, there we go. I do that, and I pinch it here, I'm gonna have to get more glue. Wish I'd have remembered today, and I didn't. Put a little right there. Whenever I push this down in there, it should go right down on it and shove it down where it's supposed to go. Okay. And then it won't get on the gears. It should hold it in place. And then we're going to see what the motor does here. I have to hold that for a minute and see if we can get this to stick. And if we can, it will be in pretty good shape. Hopefully. And then that's got to be screwed back down. So I'm hoping that that glue yeah. Yeah, because if I hold it all together, it does what it's supposed to. But when I don't, it slips. So I'm hoping that that makes the difference. Part of it is the motor's moving too. I'm probably going to have to use some hot glue and try to glue that motor in place. I think that's part of the deal on this too. And in order to do that, that's going to involve me getting the glue gun out, getting it all hot, getting it ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this sit here, and we're going to let this live to fight another day. I'm hoping that that stays glued in place that way that it's ready to go for the next run. But I appreciate everybody that's watched this evening. If you haven't liked the stream already, I'd sure appreciate it if you did. And we're going to do some more stuff like this in the future. I've got a ton of projects to work on now, whether it's rolling stock or like this Union Pacific Athearn that we got going this evening, or the little steamer that I'm working on. And I've also got that Santa Fe Tyco that I got to work on. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.